Hey guys, my name is Mike and welcome to my hardcore world, where I welcome you to join me in my own version of rebuilding Moria from the Lord of the Rings, where for the past few weeks we've been building up to the point where we can start construction on our dwarven mega city. So if you'd like to see my journey to becoming a pro builder or just follow along with the project, it would mean the world to me if you could consider hitting that subscribe button, but we'll go ahead and roll the video. And we jumped straight into this video by gathering some sand so we could craft some TNT. And in true Mickey T fashion, there was an issue because I did actually record some voiceover and some bits before this actual time-lapse, but for some ridiculous reason it won't import into DaVinci, so this is all you're gonna get. But we gathered some sand, we went back to the base, we crafted it into TNT, and the rest is coming up next. So yes, we got to work by blowing open a huge area to make way for our future dwarven megacity, but we did it in the way that I know how to do best. Alright, we've used up all 900 plus of our TNT, but it's a little bit dark in this area, so we're going to try and light it all up without dying. And with that done, I'm going to turn my attention back to the Great Hall because we didn't quite get it done in the last video. Because as some of you, or most of you will be aware, last episode we dug this out. But it's still very bare and needs a lot of work. A lot of people, and me included, haven't been 100% happy with the fact that it's just kind of like a boxed off room. So I think I might add like a bit of an archway to the roof. But how we've also done these kind of like stone pillars, I kind of want to do a very similar design, but down here and do about 3 on either side, or maybe 2 on either side, and then do them about the same height as these pillars, and then have this like stone archway built over the top of the 2 pillars. Like, I have this idea in mind, but I don't know if it's going to pan out. So we're going to give it a try, and I'm going to roll that time lapse whilst going live over on the Twitch. So I'll see you guys on the other side. Just short of 4 hours later on a live stream, and this is what we've managed to come up with so far. We've managed to start and complete 1 pillar, but we've got a design that we absolutely love. Now we just need to rinse and repeat this 5 more times, and then we've got an entire idea that we've developed over the live stream that we're going to do on top of these pillars. If not, we're just going to repeat the pillars again, but I think I've got a really cool idea. So we're going to get to work continuing to build all the rest, then we're going to work on the second part before we move on back to the city. Also, just as a side note, where do you think the hole in the roof is for the beacon? I'm getting the feeling it's right here. As you can hear, there's a lot of mobs that have spawned inside of here, so we're going to go and get some torches so we can light up inside all of these pillars, because it's going to be important for the next part. So we're going to grab a bunch of coal, craft a bunch of sticks. We just made spruce stairs. Oh, why did I rush that? I'm sure we can use them in a build at some point, but then make some sticks again and make a bunch of torches. So now we can head back with our stack of torches. Now we just have to go through each one, placing down a bunch of torches just to avoid any mobs from spawning, to try and improve efficiency around the base. And with that all lit up, I'd like to move outside because I need to have a very quick chat, and hopefully we can figure something out as a community. As somebody that's aspiring to become a better builder, I really want to improve the shading on all of my builds, but I have a small issue in that the shader pack that we are using, complimentary UNBOUND, is absolutely amazing, and I cannot play this game without shaders. However, it has a slight issue. You quickly realize that the issue that we have underground is that all the light grey colors have a slight sort of yellow or orange tinge to them, which proves a bit of an issue, because if I very quickly build a very basic attempt at shading and texturing a wall, you'll see that underground the actual woolen concrete stands out like a sore thumb. It just doesn't fit the texture at all. It just doesn't look right. So If we come back to the base and grab a few tough blocks, and we come back and try and mix in some more tough blocks into the build. Otherwise, it kind of works, but texture-wise, it doesn't quite look like rock. So this is kind of the issue that we're having, is finding the right texture. So we've got a bit of work to do, I think, in order to figure out how we're going to texture these walls. But I might figure that out later, because first I want to go ahead and finish off building all these pillars. This video was supposed to be about transforming this area behind me into our first Dwarven City area, and we were going to build a few starter buildings and a couple of farms. However, I'm realizing that 1000 TNT blocks was nowhere near enough to blow this up to the size that we require it for the series. Not to mention that this is probably going to take several hundred out, well, maybe not several hundred, but it's definitely going to take probably 10 to 20 hours in order to fully transform this, which we are just not going to have time for this week, unfortunately. And given that today is Saturday and I like to put a video out every single Sunday, I think we're just going to have to carry on working on this area and transform this hallway. However, that being said, there is one project we can do in the new Dwarven City area, which is probably mandatory if we want to actually continue this next week, and that is we're going to have to build a creeper farm in order to get enough gunpowder and passively generate it as we build this area, so that next week we can come in, blow this up and build it up. So we're going to have to get to work gathering the materials and building a creeper farm, which I'll explain how we're going to do that in just a second. But for now, we're going to place down these chests as a way to store the materials that we are gathering, and just so we have a small workspace so that we can work in here in general. So let's go ahead and move on to the next segment where we can build this farm. So the first protocol is to grab all of the trapdoors. So the guys that have been watching a while will know that this is from the last creeper farm that we had running in this world. Go ahead and place these trapdoors in there, but I want to make a multi-tiered farm to see if it'll work. The design that I actually followed was just a single farm, but I want to see if we can experiment by building multiple of these farms on top of each other to increase the efficiency and the output of the creeper farm. So we're going to go ahead and gather a bunch more, so we have to head back to the base again. So we'll grab all of the logs and the planks that we gathered the other day, and now we're back here. We can craft a crafting table, place it down, make a bunch of trapdoors, and that's not going to be anywhere near enough, so we're going to have to go and gather some wood. Oh no. And for an upcoming project, this entire area needs deforesting anyway, so we're going to kill two birds with one stone and get to work on deforesting the area. I was chopping down trees and I farted. That dwarf curry last night was spicy. But with a full inventory of wood, we can head back and put it into storage, like so. Grab a few stacks of dirt and some iron ingots. In fact, we might need a couple more than just 11, and you'll see why in a second. As the reason we needed all of those iron ingots was to make a bunch of shears, because I believe the shears have run out in our... Yep, so we can go ahead and top these up a little bit with some more shears, because we're going to need a bunch of wool, because I believe, if I recall correctly, this farm utilizes carpets, I think, on the floor. If I remember rightly. If not, then I'm kind of doing this for nothing, but it's always good to just have the shears anyway. So now we can leave that to do its thing. We were supposed to set up as an automatic farm, but we never really got around to it. And it's a little project that I should probably get done eventually. But I'm going to go ahead and utilize this space to just make a few pumpkin farms, because we need some pumpkins in order to build this creeper farm. So we need to just go 1, 2, 3, fill the whole thing in with dirt. Huzzah! Now we need to go and get some water. There we are, put that in there. Now all we need to do is use the iron hoe we made earlier to hoe the land. And we can go ahead and plant the pumpkin seeds from the pumpkins we farmed earlier. Now I do know that there is a certain way of making this like as efficient as possible, but just for the sake of the video, I'm just going to go ahead and stagger these on each layer, just so we have a full way of them growing. Yep. I have decided to go fishing. Because the truth of the matter is, I wanted to build a design that utilized snow golems to attack the creepers, pulling them into a kill chamber. However, upon realizing the design, or the previous design that we used in the world, I realized it wasn't the most efficient in terms of size to ratio in the new city area that we're going to be building. And it requires a lot more trapdoors versus the design that I have found over on YouTube, which is a smaller, more compact, round design which fits in with the idea that I have in mind. The only problem is it requires cats, and in order to get cats, we're going to have to go find them, and then we're going to have to tame them, get them back, and then we need to breed them. Bill, quickly, run, it started raining, everybody get indoors. So we've come up here because I'm going to rub salt in my own wound here by building this right next to the pumpkin farm, which we now don't need, by just digging out 4 blocks in a row, placing down a double chest like this, and a hopper going into the chest. And then all you have to do is put an oak fence on top, like so. Then use a bucket of water, and it should flow into there, where we only just need to go ahead and use a note block, which utilizes 1 redstone and some wood. And that's pretty much done. Now, having a better rod with, I believe, Luck of the Sea might be the enchant. It's going to make you catch the fish way faster than just standing here with an unenchanted rod, but unfortunately we don't have anything else right now, so we can literally just wait until it's done. And not a second later, it was complete, where you can see it's gone down into the hopper. All we have to do is just right click and we'll get the XP. Then the drop should end up in the chest, and you just leave it to just do its thing. And you rinse and repeat. So I'm going to go ahead and put on a show whilst I wait for this to do its thing. And we haven't exactly got a whole lot of fish, but we should have enough for the very basic necessities of what we need. Now, let's go ahead and find ourselves some cats, in which I'm hoping the village that we found earlier on in the series will provide us with the cats that we are looking for. So we just need to have a quick run around and see if there's any that have spawned, although judging by my initial reaction, I feel like we're not going to be getting lucky today. I've just seen one as I was just about to head away. Yes, here we are. There's some cats right here. So if we go ahead and tame these, I think we can use cod. And I'm sure I saw another one wandering around. Aha! There's the second one. Come here, Mr. Wiggles. Right, now, if I fly back, will these follow me? I mean, there's only one way to find out, right? And they did not indeed teleport to me, so we're going to have to head back, and we're going to have to manually walk them back to the base. This was what I didn't want to happen. And heading back to the base, I went ahead and used the fish we had gathered earlier to not only breed some cats, but I got to work building a creeper farm by the username of Dusty Dude here on YouTube, who I can't thank enough for showcasing a round design creeper farm so we can farm gunpowder, and this way we can hide it within a naturally occurring column within our future dwarven base. And now we just need to go and grab a few more trapdoors, then we can head back over to the farm. Then we just need to go ahead and finish off placing down the trapdoors on the roof, preventing any of the mobs from spawning aside from creepers. Now with that done, we can move on to creating the killing chamber. Then we've had to head back and make some chests, grab some of the hoppers, and fill up the 2 buckets from our unlimited water source. And then the final thing that we're going to need is some logs so that we can go ahead and make some soul campfires, because they are better than normal campfires. And I'm going to go ahead and make some signage, and you'll see why in just a second. But we don't need too many, we just need a small handful, that should be enough. So let's head back down so we can finish the killing chamber. Knock out 1 block for the water. Hey YouTube, editing Mike here, just a very quick one. Unfortunately, for some weird reason, OBS just decided not to save the footage of me filming the rest of the killing chamber. So here it is in all its glory. It's basically just soul campfires that kill the creepers that get filtered in to some chests so that we can collect the gunpowder. Pretty simple, thought I would just include it for context. So I'm turning my attention back to this area to gather all of the andesite we can and gather a little cobble, because we're now returning back to this area as I want to make a little bit more progress on these pillars before we finish the episode. We're not going to get this area done, as this area alone has probably got about another 24 hours worth of work, if not more, and I'm talking like actual hours working on it. Because we're going to have to tear down the walls. We've got like this whole roof idea that I kind of want to incorporate into here. But the whole purpose of these episodes is not to be delivering a project every single week, but to be documenting the progress towards building up this world. So that kind of fits in with the theme of me never getting stuff done. But let's go ahead and time-lapse and see what we can get done in the next couple of hours. And we are done, and how cool does this look? When I say done, I don't mean with a room. The room is far from complete. However, stage 1 of the room is complete, and these pillars just look absolutely insane. I absolutely love this design. So the idea is going forward that we're actually going to basically rinse and repeat this design on top of each other. So it's basically going to be a really tall pillar, and then we're going to have a very small connection to the roof at the top. Then we're going to do like a certain design with the roof, but I don't quite know what that's going to look like. Then we've got to actually add some texture to the sides of the wall. Then I've got an entire design in mind for both this wall and this wall. But as I said earlier, this project is going to take a fair bit of time whilst we actually work on the city, so it's going to be included probably in the next episode. But I wanted to go and quickly check on the creeper farm, as this has been running now for about an hour, and in total we've got a stack of gunpowder, which isn't too bad. Considering you've got to remember that that's running as we're actually just working, and if we were to go and stand above the farm at the AFK spot, about 130 blocks above the killing chamber, it would probably be even more efficient, and we could probably leave it running overnight, and I might even give that a try just to see what sort of things we can achieve if I actually stand in the AFK spot for an hour. However, I think we're going to have to go ahead and end the episode right here, unfortunately, as we have ran out of time to get things done this week. Now, before we finish, I would like to wholeheartedly thank each and every one of you for watching, and remind you that don't forget you can join our very public SMP by joining the Discord below and requesting whitelist. We are working on making it public, but we're not quite there yet. Other than that, guys, thank you so much, and thank you to everybody that's given me love over on the vlog channel. Link will be in the description if you'd like to check that out. But for this week, I have been the Mike James, also known as This Me, Mickey T, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!